Hello, my friends. Today, let's talk about three words that all start with an S: silence, simplicity, and surrender. And in my experience, they have a lot in common. It's almost like it's one ball, one yarn ball, and we're just pulling out a few of the strings and realize that they all go back to the same. The way the world is today, in case you haven't noticed, it's going mad. It's completely and utterly mad. Everybody is going mad. Everybody is projecting their worst fears, their greatest hopes, and everything in between out there on people, on groups of people, of governments, whatever it is. There is there is a bombardment that is so opposite. There is a belief in things that are so completely opposite. And each side seems to be convinced that they are right. It's not the first time we talked about this here, but it's worth looking at over and over because we are looking into a world of duality where these things happen. This is where you will experience this duality and the righteousness and the finger pointing and the blaming and, I'm right and you're wrong and the fighting and the name calling. It's completely mad. My friends, it's not going anywhere. It's not helping anyone. It's not making the world a better place. It's not bringing peace on earth. It's just adding to the madness. And until we see that, we will keep doing that. And what we're doing, we are engaging our mind based on emotions inside of us that are still unresolved, that are still unhealed, that are still unintegrated. And somehow, as you probably know, our unhealed emotions, we're trying to fix the outside world in order to find peace. It's a very common way. That seems to be how the false matrix has presented itself with that belief. And that's why so many people are either out there celebrating or protesting or hating at each other. For what reason? Literally, if you are part of doing that, what are you hoping for? I can almost hear the answers. I want peace. I want love. I want harmony. That's at the core, right? When we try and fight for something to change, it's because we want a different experience inside. Of course we do. And we all want peace. The point is that we are that peace. It is not out there. So we need to make a switcheroo here. And that's why I want to start with the word stillness. There is no stillness out there. Let's just be real here. There is no stillness out there. What's happening out there is happening in your mind. So, in order to find peace, we need to still the mind. This is not an easy task. We are being bombarded with energies and programs and whatnot all day long. And until we are aware of that, we will just, we're just going along with it all, believing this today and that tomorrow, agreeing with that person, disagreeing with that person. It's all happening in the mind because it's not still. It is completely spinning around in insanity. So the first thing is we need to at least choose to find the stillness where we will find the peace. And then I hear the mind going out there, yeah, but if we don't do anything, it's just going to get worse. And, this is going to happen and it's going to turn into this. We need to be engaged. Yes, no problem. We all need to be engaged, but not from our unhealed emotions and traumas. That is never going to change the world. It's powerful when you realize that, that this unhealed trauma that we all carry in one way or another, it wants peace, it wants love, and bless you, of course, and we should have it. We all should have it. But it's like a little child, who's upset with mommy and is throwing a tantrum and hoping to whatever, to be loved or get its way. That's that younger part of most of us. I'm not saying everybody, but most of us carry that with us, and we keep projecting it into the world and wanting the world to help us find peace. Well, let's take a look around the world. How is it working? Is it helping to find peace? Or justice. Justice is I always get these little things like, yeah, justice. We want justice, of course. Is it helping to find justice when you are finger pointing, blaming, righteous, all of that? Is that bringing justice? And when there is justice, what will that do for you? Peace, right? Then you can relax. Then there's peace. Most of the things we do come back to wanting peace and love. It's very common, and I'm sure there's other ones, but if you go to the core, it's very common to find those inside at the deepest core of our longing. So we need to start with stillness. When you're very agitated, it's very hard to find stillness. I think we can agree on that. But let's just for now, just take a breath. That's all. I'm just asking you to take a conscious breath. And let's do one more. And on the out breath, just see if you can exhale this turmoil that's going on everywhere. Taking deep breaths is a very powerful way to calm down our nervous system. So I definitely invite many deep, long breaths when you get agitated to do a little switch there. And then when you come into the stillness, all that stuff is not happening in the stillness. There's basically just stillness. And then maybe the next word starting with an S is simplicity. When I'm in here, it's just so simple. Just so simple because I'm being informed by the stillness, what is true. And the outer programming, the outer theater or circus is like, what is that? Literally, I'm not just making this up. It's like, why would anybody get involved in that? And I mean anybody who's out there, the people you love, the people you hate, the people you fight, whatever. Why would anybody do that? Behave like that, believing that that's going to get us anywhere. So then the more we sit in that stillness, and of course, I'm just sharing it now with words. We're not taking enough time to really do it. Maybe I will do that one day. I just have this belief, that might be wrong, that most people don't have time to watch a YouTube and just be still. But I may change my mind, but at least do it on your own. Just when you get off this video, just take time. You can take a minute. The world is not going to fall apart if you take a minute to just breathe deeply. Just focus on that breath. And when you drop in, you'll just notice that all that crazy stuff is not here. It's simple. It's so simple, my friends. So let's focus on the stillness and then being very simple. And just let that stillness and that wisdom that's in there that knows that that is not going to make a difference. If you feel moved from the stillness to go out and do something, it's a very different energy, right? You're not coming from that wounded part or that upset part or that unhealed part. You're coming from the simplicity and the stillness. And many times it's just a matter of showing up in your presence, in your stillness, and just be there, either with something that's going on online or with friends live, in person. See what happens if you're just letting yourself be still, be present, and, use it as a little experiment. See what happens. See what happens to you or others. They may come and say, you're so quiet. It's like, yeah, I'm just really feeling the stillness. And I think by just being it has an impact. And that is true. You can, of course, say whatever you want to say. But then when we are here, right, then we can start using our choice to surrender to this. It's a choice. Like every time you have the inclination or the drive to go out and be upset and fight and battle, whatever, you really have a choice. And the more you connect with the stillness and feel how simple it is there, you will automatically start choosing that, surrendering to that. So instead of doing that each time, you go, oh no, this feels so much better. And this is really what I want. And we become the solution. We're not part of the problem anymore. We become the solution, even though it may not look like a lot. Trust me, it's a lot. It's more than you can ever imagine. Your mind will tell you the opposite, totally. But just feel it here. This will start informing you of what really is true and what needs to happen. From this place, you'll get insights, you'll get inspirations, you'll have things coming to you that you hadn't thought about. It can be anything, but you are choosing to surrender to the stillness inside of you, to your own presence. It's your soul connection. And out of this stillness, everything emerges. And has a very different energy than it does from mind doing whatever it's doing. Take a little time, take a few minutes, even just a few minutes every day, where you choose to not engage and be still instead. And when you're still, notice this stillness. It's so simple. And then you can choose to make that your abiding place more often and more often and more often than not over time. And you are bringing a whole new frequency, a whole new energy to the planet. You are bringing to the planet what you used to go out there and try and battle and fight for. There is no peace in fighting. It's just satisfying an emotion inside that has not been able to be still yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have our parts inside, our emotional parts that still need something before it can be still. So we're not talking about bypassing, but it is an invitation to at least check it out. And if it's really hard, go and ask for help. Seek out somebody who can help you with these emotions that are running amok. They need something. They need something so they can be still and not be fully identified with the mind's projection as the world. So, as always, you're welcome to reach out to me if you need support with that. I'll put the link in the description. And you're also welcome to join my monthly online gathering where we kind of support each other in just coming more here and really starting to listen more deeper to our heart and what it is that wants to emerge. See, we're not trying to change it out there. We're inviting the hearts, the wisdom and the longing of the heart. We're inviting it out to find out what wants to emerge as you and you and you and me. Very unique, very beautiful, and it's lovely to be in a group where you feel supported in that. So, stillness, simplicity, and surrender. Give it a try.